Welcome back to Pictona and Holly Hill. Tennis Channel's coverage of the Carvana PPA Tour. Drew Felios, Dave Fleming, Cameron Blackwood. The men's singles draw now down to 4. Dylan Frazier with Colin Schick on one side. Ben Johns and Pablo Tellez we're about to watch right now on another. And Dave, these two guys with not much of a history playing each other.
No, Tellez and Johns have played one time, and it was a couple weeks ago at the Arizona Grand Slam in Mesa that Ben took 11-9, 11-7. So the Colombian Tellez has been playing fantastic, made the final in doubles with Staxrud last week in Minnesota, and kudos to him for that run. So you can see these guys now. They bring the singles to the doubles. They take their big serve from singles over to that, their hands and placement. They learn some things that works over here from doubles to singles. And Tellez took out Jay DeVilliers in the round of 16 earlier today. That's a huge win for him, 11-5, 12-10. Ben Johns in his quarterfinal had to beat J.W. Johnson, and that took 3, wins that one 11-4 in the third. So big victories on both sides of the court already going into this. And obviously Ben Johns didn't like not being in the men's singles final a couple of weeks ago when he was in that Arizona Grand Slam. He is ready to roll.
Off we go from Daytona Beach, Pictona at Holly Hill. And Ben Johns able to win side out here to start.
Yeah, and he shows you the big backswing like he's going to clobber it and drops it right over. Disguise is so huge in pickleball. Great shot on the first rally from the #1 player in the world.
Point. And Ben Johns with his first point.
One zero.
Nicely done by Tellez.
Yeah, that's really hard to keep the paddle squared up on the stretch with the backhand there, but he is taller and longer than it looks here. Really long arms and really smart when he's away from his body. That's a great ball from Tellez.
A little bit wide. Do you see some similarities to Hewitt's game, or is it just the fact that
I think
he's
they're
a lefty?
lefties, but Hewitt is going to just wreck two-handed backhands, ground strokes. Tellez is going to be a little more finesse coming in, has that length. Rafa's going to be wild energy. You'll hear from Tellez, but not nearly as much. So yes to the lefty. The rest of the game, I mean, there are a little bit of similarities, but they play a little different style.
Side out.
Side out now, back to Ben.
And again, as we go through the year, these seeds will sort of even out as all the players start to mix together for a full amount of years. This man will not be a 13th seed in the second half of the year. No way.
Great passing shot by the GOAT, Ben Johns. And I was just about to ask you, Dave, that 13 definitely a little bit deceiving.
Yeah, it's correct because of the points earned in the last 12 months, but he's coming.
Oh, is it on the line just long?
Yeah, that's one of those you're just praying when you dodge it, and then it's like, man, that doesn't have the altitude I was thinking it did. Just deep there.
Point. And Ben can't catch up to that one, so first point here for Tellez.
Yeah, and that's what a lefty can do, hit that fading inside out forehand. Just ran away from Johns, couldn't make good contact.
And Tellez attacking that opposite side.
Again, another one of those running away. And if you hit a good ball, you've got to chase it, Drew. And Tellez does a great job there. Don't let them off the hook when they're lunging. Come get it.
Tellez going to leave that one just a little bit short.
2-2. Point.
And that one long by Tellez. Tellez playing his college tennis at the University of West Florida, Pensacola.
3-2.
Oh, what a blistering shot by Ben.
Yeah, when you hit a short return like that, you're going to have to guess which side, because the big serve from John set that up, and then you can see the push off. He's almost down on an ankle on the ground there is Tellez.
Point.
You know, and the interesting part when we talk about this, when you're watching Ben Johns, he's just not in a hurry. He's on his way up. He wanted to put it on the backhand, and you see him stretching the other player and not vice versa. And it's a special red clay hot sauce that he has.
Point. Timeout. Receiver.
Yeah, kudos to our title sponsor of this event, the Red Clay Hot Sauce Florida Open. Another stop on the Carvana PPA Tour. Timeout on the court. 6-2. The score. Ben Johns out to the 4-point lead.
1 timeout remaining. Server, 2 timeouts
Ben
remaining.
Johns up 6-2 here in game 1 over Pablo Tellez. Our officials for this match: Michael Kukis, Teresa Martin, Andrea Gately, and Annie Danner.
Okay. 6-2.
So I got to ask you there, Dave. Tellez was out of the screen. He's so far back to receive that serve.
Yeah, and then still didn't get enough on the return. So if you're going to go that far back,
7-2.
you have got to put height on your return to give yourself a chance, and didn't do it there. And he is struggling, and the short returns are just, it is like he is at target practice with a different kind of clays.
8-2.
Oh, a little help from the net that time from Ben.
Yes, and the Perseus paddle apology.
9-2.
And Ben short on the return, so Tellez going to have a chance to halt that momentum.
Yeah, and you can see how smart John's is. He's like, Tellez is unlikely to hurt me off the bounce on that backhand side that I can't get to, and he was in great position there, just made a mistake. So he's going to craft that ball there, and Tellez cannot miss serves at this point. I like going for your serves, but in this position, that's got to be made.
Side out back to Johns, 9-2. Tellez sticking to his game plan here.
Yeah, and that's one of those, Ben likes to hit that big looping inside out to right-handed players. It ends up on a backhand. That sits on the forehand of Tellez and gets murdered.
A little inside out that time. Nicely done from Tellez.
Yeah, that's the shape of the ball that has gotten Ben off his comfort level. He's been reaching for that, so we'll see if Tellez can find more of those.
And make it 2 in a row.
Yeah, that was going to land in the doubles alley, which we don't have in pickleball, but Ben wasn't sure and played it.
4-9.
Oh, beauty from Tellez. That's 3 in a row.
Yeah, and that run around forehand is looking very good for Tellez. We'll see if Johns changes up his return placement here.
Tellez again. If you're Ben Johns, you're thinking timeout.
He just doesn't call them very often, so it's in the back of the cerebellum somewhere, but not right now.
And Tellez right now like a buzzsaw.
We were getting close to the Ben Johns timeout, though. Just the returns aren't deep enough, and Tellez is returning the favor of preying on shorter returns.
6 points in a row now.
Timeout receiver.
The timeout has reached the whatever cerebral cortex, and the mouth has said timeout, ref. And this is one unbelievable run from Tellez.
Getting a dose of the talent of Pablo Tellez, another relatively new name on the Carvana PPA Tour.
One timeout.
What an impressive sequence here for Pablo Tellez, trying to keep it going against Ben Johns.
Time in.
Just feasting on short returns, inside out forehands, then ripped one backhand down the line. This is a big rally right here.
Comes out of the timeout. He is still ripping.
And Ben chose to not give him the runaround forehand, just give him a traditional forehand. He's able to pull it cross court. Adjustments on both sides, and Tellez won that showdown.
9-9.
And Tellez just a little bit long, kind of an odd shot coming off the net.
Well, he had the ball sitting there and decided to go body at Ben, and Ben was beat, but let it go. Great
9-9.
opportunity from Tellez to tie things up and take the lead there. Oh, no.
Point.
So now, just like that, it's game point. Ben Johns. If he could pull this game out, Dave, talking about Ben, that would be huge, because Tellez just went on a furious rally. Oh, took a chance. Ben Johns going to survive this first game. He got Tellez's best stuff.
That's exactly what he did there. Tellez went after his serve a little more, really found confidence in the forehand. And then this ball right there by Johns, you think he is in deep trouble. He's hitting the ball behind him, up the line, having to give up court. But Tellez, I think that's one of those where you're like, is that going to be in? And you're like, I can't lose game point and let it go, and then tried to flick it far too wide. So that's what the best players do. They take your best stuff and still get to the finish line themselves.
And out of Colombia, Tellez, more proof that this game becoming worldwide, the sport of pickleball. Back with more in a moment. All right, here we come, game number 2. Pablo Tellez comes up just short in game 1 after taking Ben Johns to the limit.
He did. Looked fantastic in the second half of game number 1. And, you know, that's what the benefit of that humongous lead to start with is. It matters. They all matter. And Tellez had a ball at 9-all, though, sitting there. He got a lovely little juicy net court and tried to go body, and Ben Johnson just hit it deep. He'll be thinking about that one if he can't rally.
Side out.
And that ball was gorgeous from Tellez, right on the line. And, you know, the other thing about a lefty, Drew, is you have to reverse your patterns and thinking a little bit. Some of the magic of Ben Johns inside out forehand ends up going to a forehand. And like that ball there, that gets flicked back and beats you with the Tellez magic. So southpaws definitely change the nature of the patterns.
Ben Johns residing, of course, in Austin, Texas. Tellez making Naples his home, and he's also teaching this great game of pickleball.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of these South Florida. We have them on great players on both coasts that get tons of great practice together.
Ben Johns going to get side out here after trailing 2-0.
As does Ben Johns get great practice with all the great players that have gathered in Austin. And that's going to be a thing now, because you're not getting that high level practice and drilling. It's going to stand out because of what it takes to advance in these stacked fields this year. Absolutely.
Players starting to realize that. And Tellez just drops another dime.
And Ben knows that ball's way too high for a pass against a player of Tellez's capabilities.
There's Tellez again. So even though Ben wins that last game, you can just sense he has got the momentum right now overall in this match.
Yeah, Tellez looks fantastic. I mean, this is, you know, when you step into two-handed backhands and hit them with that much confidence, that's going to just ooze into everything else. Look at that nice deep serve.
Ball. Right foot.
And a foot fault on Tellez after he played literally a perfect point, except
Right foot.
for the Nikes. And I love the exchange. Really? Yes, really. Michael Kukas all over it there. Really? Yeah.
0-3.
Yep. That's why they're there.
John's trailing by 3 here. Tellez just has him on the run at the moment.
Yeah, and John just can't get the ball to bounce in a safe place, and it is Tellez who is dictating here. And again, that sneaky length of his, not letting the ball bounce, taking it out of the air, winning.
Side out. Zero, 3.
Johns, and that time it goes wide.
Three, 0.
And Ben Johns, maybe his best shot of the match.
Yeah, that's when he can just hold and go either way. If he flicks it cross court, he gets the backhand, or excuse me, the forehand of Tellez. So here he's like, I know where that backhand is. That's a beautiful ball from Johns.
Tellez can't return the serve. Another point here for Ben.
Yeah, and you see Johns just really going after the serve. That's what got him that big lead. He took advantage of short returns.
Oh, Ben can't get more perfect than that.
No, I mean, Tellez hit what he thought was, I'm ahead in this point, and this is all mine now. And the shape on this forehand, this isn't an ATP. This is just a curved, hit the outside of the ball and spray it into the corner. Wow, what a shot.
And that ball just dies. Ben can do nothing with it. What a shot.
Yeah, a lot of conversation with Ben and Ben right there about what just took place. So it's a great battle.
3-2.
Tellez trying to keep it alive. Nothing doing there. Hits it right into the crowd.
Yeah, that's just a great stick volley from Johns there. Tellez has been teeing off in the last 10 to 12 minutes of this match. Ben's been waving at passing shots, so it's good to make a clean contact there. Oh.
And it's going to drop in. Johns ties it at 3.
Yeah, and you saw Tellez was stuck guessing with how short that return was, and then almost got away with something, but off the tape stayed in. There was 10 feet of court available for Johns there. 44 by 20 if you're not familiar with the dimensions of the pickleball court. Got a police scanner in play here, Drew, in the background.
And now Ben Johns has reestablished his momentum here in this match.
Yeah, and again, it's when you're playing, and obviously we're in a semifinal here, it's the precision of the balls. And Ben was having that conversation with himself about the ball's too high, and Tellez has so many options. So he's got it dialed in. It's Tellez calling timeout. We'll be back with the rest of game 2. Look at that ref crew. We'll see you in a minute. Welcome back, everybody, and some great tour stops coming up on the Carvana PPA Tour. Next up, Austin, Texas, cap city of that great state. We'll be back here for MLP in between, right here at Pictona, and then we go to the Red Rock Open. Hello, Utah. Great venue right tucked in the Red Rocks there. And then the doubles shootout in Newport Beach, California. Just after the midway point of April 21st to the 23rd. So coast to coast again, Drew Felios.
The venues, the crowds, the level of play, unlike anything in pickleball that you will ever see. As Tellez comes out firing out of the timeout.
Yeah, that was big because Johns was starting to get the momentum and get the point construction the way he wanted. Great timeout from Tellez there to slow that down. Because Tellez would love nothing more to make back-to-back Sundays.
Ben on the run. And Tellez can't return it. Oh, what a point.
And Tellez was there, and sometimes you panic and think you have to hit too good a shot. He's got time to put this into the open court. Look at how far Ben is off. Just couldn't get the swing he wanted. What great court coverage, though. My goodness.
So a 1-point lead for Ben Johns. Tellez able to switch direction.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of a two-handed backhand off the bounce. You can hold that ball, meaning let it travel, and then let your left hand do all the work, and watch that flick it into the open court. That ball bounced up, gave Tellez so many options.
And Ben with the finisher, but I'll tell you, Dave, watching Tellez as if I'm playing him. He's like a left-handed pitcher with wicked motion in baseball. You just don't really know what's coming.
Yeah, he's definitely got that lanky game, and he is really talented to go with that athleticism, and well-earned semifinal here today, and maybe more.
And that's on the line. Nicely done.
Yeah, nice inside out there from Tellez. And Ben's frustration is not with that. It was with the first pass, again, way too high, and then you're just behind in the point for the rest of the time, and it's just a slice by 1,000 paper cuts there. And here's a short return, and look at Tellez step into the court.
I'm telling you, Dave, it is really, really tough to track right now if you're Ben Johns.
4-4. Side out.
That guaranteed rate sign takes one from Tellez.
Don't get extra points, Pablo, here, Columbia, or anywhere if you hit that sign. And he had a big serve with a lot of hop on it that gave him a great opportunity. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, there's a foot in the kitchen. Now he's smiling. He looked down and saw it.
Point.
You're a big body like that. You're running full speed. That is really tough to know that that line is there.
Yeah, and, you know, everybody learns that. That's a skill, too, just being able to have your feet in the right place. You saw the toe click in there from Tellez. You know, that's just that peripheral vision to know that you are exactly where you need to be, and then not think about it anymore. It's just part of being a pro athlete in this sport. Having those feet, it's like a wide receiver on the sideline. You just know.
Great comparison. Oh, Ben. Just inside the line. Count it.
If he lets that ball travel, he does not hit a winner, but he takes that on the rise, and that does not give Tellez the time to cover the line.
Little separation here for the best player in the world. And Tellez, once again, places it perfectly.
Yeah, Ben might have wanted to draw that back cross court, or if he is going to go down the line, stay on the line, because he cheats cross court again there and gets beat.
Side out.
Side out coming back to Ben here. 6-4 lead. Tellez got to win this game to stay alive, force a game 3. There's that awesome backhand from Ben.
Yeah, and that's the difference with the paddle change. Again, not available in the market quite yet from Yola. The Perseus paddle, the shape is different. He's so much more confident on the two-handed backhand from the baseline with that, and there's a great example of it right there. tough luck off the tape, and he likes the sweet spot and be able to really drive through that backhand just to finish that point. So it's go time for Tellez there right now.
And Tellez once again on the line.
I think that's what go can resemble right there for sure. His passing shots have been really good here, and the serve is setting it up. You see Ben splits up is not near the kitchen line.
And Ben Johns playing that kitchen line perfectly.
Side out, 7-5.
Tellez still not blinking here, very much in this match.
Yeah, Ben unable to get that down, and just nice patient flick. Sometimes you're like, oh, this is juicy, I'm going to clobber it. No need.
Side out. Seven, 5.
Oh my.
Point.
Oh, Tellez is going to remember this, because that's an unbelievable get from Johns, but the whole world is open over there.
8-4. My mistake.
So it's now an 8-4 game
8-5.
with Ben Johns serving
I
here.
think it's 8-5. I think Ben
8-5 rather.
I think, oh no.
Side out.
And that
That's-
kind of distracted Ben
yeah.
just a little bit there.
I guarantee the referee is horrified that that happened, because Ben made the correction of his opponent's number, mind you, increased, and then missed the serve. I mean,
5-8.
nothing intentional there, but you just, as a referee, you're like, just get this point started, please.
Point.
And it leads to another Tellez point.
Tellez trying to get himself going here.
And that's wide. So Johns will get the serve back here.
Yeah, and Tellez has been picking away at Ben here, but he hasn't been able to put 2-3 in a row like he did in game 1 during his comeback almost to the finish line. Finish line so important here in Daytona.
Point.
Up against the net once more. Ben Johns making it 9-6. And if you're Ben Johns, you do not want Tellez to just hang around. Tellez taking a little bit off it. Once again, crowd appreciated it here at Holly Hill.
Yeah, he's had a few of those little stab volley drop shots that have been very effective.
Long.
Point.
So now 9-7. Once again, Ben Johns going to have to, you know, he wants to refrain from having to call a timeout here. Just wants to get through. But Tellez just not letting them off easy here, Dave.
No, and there's that chasing a great ball, and Ben is walking to his player box. So Tellez is coming after him again.
Incredibly impressed by Pablo Tellez here on the Carvana PPA Tour. We're back to Holly Hill in a moment.
One timeout remaining. Server, one timeout remaining.
Welcome back here to Daytona Beach, the Red Clay Hot Sauce Florida Open. Drew Felios with Dave Fleming and Cameron Blackwood standing by to interview the winner of this match. Still in game 2. Tellez trying to extend and make it a 3-game affair.
Point.
Yeah, and if he isn't able to get there, he's going to look at 3 or 4 forehands where he had a good look at him and a good swing and hasn't been able to make them, but he's still hanging right there, just down 1.
So Ben Johns to serve. 1-point lead here in game 2. Johns just makes you shake your head, doesn't he?
I mean, that is a ridiculous get. And then to be able to get there, because Tellez holds that and then rips it down the line, and not only to get there, stab volley into the open court, and he's got match point.
Ben Johns survives the furious points of Pablo Tellez. The runs, the rallies, the GOAT. He is unflappable, isn't he?
And he was pushed to the limit, and guess what? The scoreline when they played a couple weeks ago, 11-9, 11-7, 11-8, or 11-9, it's the same score practically. It's 9-8 this time. So Tellez shows how tough he is, and there you see Ben and Anna Lee Waters having a little chat. So we'll have Cameron Blackwood have a little chat with Ben Johns when we come back. What a match.
Welcome back. I'm Cameron Blackwood here with Ben Johns. Ben, it's a little bit different playing a lefty, especially with so much aggressive spin. How does it, one, change your strategy, and two, your court coverage?
Yeah, you know, I think, first of all, Pablo, great player. He's very tricky, uses his wrist really well, so I'm sure people saw me wrong-footed a number of times there. So very, very difficult player to play. As far as the lefty goes, I think the angles are a little different, so you really got to think about where you're returning and kind of try to figure out where you should be covering, just because the patterns are not fully there. So, yeah, I kind of had to think my way through that one a little bit.
And you have a very calm demeanor on court, but when he's starting to creep back in the first game, creep back in the second game, how are you able to not panic, stick to your game plan, and come out with the win?
Panic is never good. But yeah, no, he's definitely, he had some runs, some nice shots, but really I think it kind of goes with the game style. You know, when you're risky and deceptive, you're going to have some runs, you're going to have some errors, so you kind of just got to stick with it and hope the run doesn't last too long.
There you go. Ben Johns, moving on. You guys don't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back.